We're starting our adventure.
Woo!
Everybody say hi.
Hi. Hi.
Alright, so Three Island Crossing State Park here in Idaho. It's a pretty impressive place. Today we went to the Three Island Crossing Interpretive Center, and that was really neat. They really put a lot of effort into it, and you can tell. There's a nice couple there that greeted us and gave us some information right out of the gate. Asked where we're from, so they kind of had an idea of what kind of information we might be looking for. And then there was a 10-minute video that we watched about the area, and then we got to tour the facility, and it's kind of a horseshoe, and it tells the whole story of the pioneers that came in here into this valley and across the Snake River, and their interactions with the native Shoshone and Paiute tribes, and how they started out friendly, and then conflict inevitably entered the scene, primarily from the Europeans, the Euro-Asians, and all those other cultures that came in here and kind of felt that the native culture was inferior, and so they tried to force their own culture on the native tribes, and how that was incredibly destructive to those tribes, and how even going in towards today, there's been attempts now to heal those wounds, but many of the challenges created well over 100 years ago are still impacting those people today. So it was really fascinating information, great for getting perspective and understanding, and it was laid out really well. It was a great story throughout the process. So you start at the beginning, kind of work your way through, and you learn some history, you learn some cultural aspects, and it's really well put together, and I highly recommend it. The Interpretive Center is worth the visit all on its own. Alright, so there's really only two negatives that I can really think of at this point. There is a train track that goes from the upper camp. You can see the train going by, and there's trains that go by just about every hour to 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours, and it doesn't stop at night. They go through at night as well, and they, for whatever reason, feel the need to blare their horns as they pass through town, and you can hear it. We use white noise machines just because we've grown adapt to that. But even over the white noise, you can hear the trains, mostly the whistles. And so that's kind of a negative for the spot. It did deaden a lot of it. If you're a sound sleeper, you'll be fine. If you're a light sleeper, it's something to consider. And then the other thing is the wind. This is in this southern Idaho temperate desert type area, so the wind here, when it decides to blow, we've had 15 to 20 mile an hour wind this whole day so far, and it'll go all the way up until it gets dark. Yesterday it wasn't windy at all, so it's kind of hit and miss, but I will tell you it's more hit than miss. You are more than likely going to be running into wind most days in this area. There's not really any real good way to block it here. We have a tree behind me that you can see, and that's helping right now because of the direction the wind is going, mostly hitting up against that tree. So we're somewhat sheltered in this spot, but depending on where you are in camp, you might not be so lucky. So just two things to keep in mind, the train and the wind. But other than that, this is a great spot. And yeah. Some of the positives for here. The Interpretive Center was incredible. You gotta go check that out. You're right near the Snake River. It's fantastic. There's a number of little hiking trails you can kind of walk around in, and the camping area is fantastic. There's a really nice bathroom. There's several locations that have showers if that's something you need. Once the reservation system kicks on, usually there's running water by that point. Unless it's still really cold at night, then they might not have it turned on. But this is like the first week that they were taking reservations, and our water is on. So we've got water and power at our spot, so that's been great. But you'll want to double check based on the weather to make sure that if you need water, they'll have water. But the camp itself is really clean. It's really well taken care of. Bathrooms are fantastic, which if you have ladies with you, that'll be a huge plus for them. Guarantee it. You're right near the Snake River, so you can just walk down the Snake River. It's like a quarter mile or less, probably less, and you can hike up and down around the area quite a ways in different directions. And you can walk into town. You don't have to drive. It is 1.5 miles, so that might not be ideal for most people. And then there's a frisbee golf course here. We haven't done it. We were thinking about doing it today, but the wind is a little too crazy to try and throw a frisbee in it, so we did not do that today. But it is an option, so if you do come out here, you might want to think about bringing a frisbee. Yeah, definitely a great place to check out. Highly recommend it, and yeah, we'll see you. This is Eureka Cave, one side of it. And here we go. we're down here in Eureka Cave, and
Are you guys rocking?
it's pretty nice. It's a little trashier than last time, and people just don't take their garbage out, which is frustrating. But because they just ruin nice places, fun places to visit. But yeah, it's a cool little cave. And here's the exit. Let's make our way out. Just put it in your pocket for now.
I don't think that anybody else is on it. You could probably just take a ladder. Bring it over here. Walk it down, and it'll make it so much easier for everybody.
I think enough people have easy enough access, given the debris in this place.
Access is not a problem.
And we're out.